Introduce yourself real quick. Introduce yourself again.
Lawrence Hamm, Chairman, People's Organization for Progress.
Larry Hamm, you participated in the IBWC World State of the Black America Conference a few days ago.
Yes.
The last time I saw you at one, you were. I don't want to say you seemed ecstatic. Today you seem happy, but you were very surprised because you said you've never been on a panel where everybody shared the same thinking as you. When they were over here at NJIT a few years ago.
Oh yeah, that was a good panel.
When it was a call for progressivism.
Right.
Right, and this change you're talking about now.
Right.
And so after having, this year 2020, with everything that's going on, it was a virtual conference, it's a live conference. Danny Glover came on to speak and had something to say. He's looking pretty good for an older guy, right?
Yeah,
I kept expecting him to say I'm too old, I'm getting too old, for all this fighting for right stuff.
Right.
But what did you make of this year's State of the Black Conference, and how did you feel? You didn't get to speak as much as I would have liked to have heard personally.
It was good. I think it was as good as it could be under the conditions. We couldn't be together in person. We couldn't have an audience. So I think it was still good. I'm glad they had it. I'm glad the mayor participated, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was good.
And I want to ask you, I know you don't endorse...
I really enjoyed Mayor Baraka's comments.
That's what I was going to say. I know you don't endorse elected officials because, you're an activist and you got to hold people accountable.
No,
but this guy, Ras Baraka, right? The son of Amiri Baraka.
He was right on.
Right? And, we talk about the type of elected official we need, or you want. You want to see progressive and you want to see... I know you can't get thumbs up and thumbs down, but is that the kind of leadership, since he's been a mayor here, that you've been talking about? And that you would like to see from Biden and Harris now that they're in this position?
Would I like to see him in the administration?
Well, would you like to see the type of leadership that the Mayor Ras Baraka has shown here in Newark at the federal level?
Oh, we're not going to see that. Ras Baraka is a progressive, and Joe Biden is a nice man, but he's a centrist politically. Our job is going to be to push him in a progressive direction. That was clear during the primary. That Biden, was for short-term reform, not really for structural reform. If it's a choice between Biden and Trump, of course we choose Biden, but we're gonna have to push Biden in a progressive direction. I'm telling you.
Like I said, this guy, Ras Baraka, I personally, and I would say this as editorial and also my opinion, I think he's been doing a pretty good job here in Newark.
I think so too.
And
I think so too.
And like I said, I know you don't endorse people because you got to do what you got to do.
No, Ras is doing a good job.
Right. That's a good thing.
I supported him in 14 when he ran. I supported him in 18 when he ran. So he's doing it, and I'll support him again if all things remaining the same. As they say, certibus paribus in Latin, all things remaining the same.
Is that how revolutions are made? One rally at a time, one flyer at a time, one elected position at a time, one movement at a time.
I think it's more complex than that. But I tell you what makes revolution: crisis. And I'm going to tell you this. If it hadn't been for COVID, Donald Trump would be the president today.
Yep.
I'm convinced of that. If it hadn't been for COVID, Donald Trump would have been reelected. Look. The two candidates that got more votes than any other presidential candidates were Joe Biden and Donald Trump. When you go down the line historically, Biden is going to be at the top and Trump is going to be second. 70 million people voted for Biden. 74 million voted for Biden. 70 million people voted for Trump after all this happened. That by itself is worthy of a long discussion.
Yeah, it's like 51-49, right?
The country is divided.
Yes.
It's very divided. If people would vote for Trump, it ain't even like this is a choice between Biden and Romney, or Biden and Eisenhower. Donald Trump.
Well, listen,
70 million people?
Kanye West got like 55,000 votes. What do you think?
Well, that was nationwide. That's less than 1,000th of 1%. He got 55,000 out of 144 million.
That's to put it in perspective.
But that was their plan. See, Trump knew that he could win if he could split off 2% of the black, a few percent of the Latino, a few percent of the Asian, even Native American. And believe me when I tell you, in all of them groups, there was some people that voted for Donald Trump.
And as long as he could hold his base,
In fact,
and peel some other ones
in
off.
fact, more black people, although it's a small amount, more black people actually voted for Trump this second time than they did the first time.
You know, that is, I still want to see those numbers because I don't really personally believe it. But the fact is, you know, we always hear, especially in our community, that we're not monolithic.
96% of black women voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
90% voted for Trump.
That was one of the most interesting conversations I ever had.
Listen. 86% of black men voted for Hillary Clinton. 80% voted for Biden this time. So a little percent on each side, more this time. It's amazing. You know, when I was a little kid, right, and I used to see these World War II movies, I used to wonder, how could a Hitler ever come into being? I mean, how could such a thing happen? Who could condone putting people in gas chambers, and who would do such a thing? You know? But now, going through this, maybe, you know, I don't want to get into metaphysics, but maybe in a strange kind of way, we had to go through this.
Oh yeah, because you needed. Because listen, personally, I thought the failure of Hillary's campaign was they didn't understand that there was 49% of the country that wasn't really feeling this progressive turn, that was scared of this change, this wave, that's inevitable as it is.
But look, it's not just fear. There's some people that were united with Trump.
Yeah.
It wasn't fear. They agreed with him.
Yeah.
It's not fear. They're with this.
Yeah.
Why would senior citizens come to rallies where they could get COVID and it would kill them? They agreed with that.
Yes. And they were willing to put their life on the line for it too.
So, you know, there's a lot that we got to ponder, you know, after all the celebration is over. We're like, how do we prevent this from happening again? We're going to have a harder fight if the Democrats don't get half the Senate. Because if it's 50-50, then Kamala Harris becomes the president of the Senate and she can vote the tie.
Right.
But if the Senate remains in Republican hands, we're going to have a harder fight 4 years from now than this year, because they are going to block every measure that comes from Biden and from the House. They're going to block it. Mitch McConnell already announced that the Senate are not going to approve any cabinet choices that Biden makes that are left wing.
Similar to what they did to Obama.
That's right. They already said something to the effect that they're not going to approve left-wing judges. You know, so even if Biden wants to be progressive, it's going to be very difficult if we don't have the Senate. So in 4 years, somebody's going to say, well, what happened? Did we make progress? So the Democrats are going to have to seize the narrative. They got to create a narrative. They got to build their narrative about what's going on.
And may I also say, they need to work together, because my main criticism of the Obama years is that for what? Until those midterm elections, after he got elected, Democrats controlled both houses, and you had those.
All right, man.
You had those blue dog Democrats.
Yeah, man, where you get this? Got a sweater jacket. Yeah, only you. This is Achilles.
Yes, I know. The mask is throwing me off, but the silver right here.
This is the man that changed the name of Southside High School to Malcolm X High School when he was a student at 17. I was too, but you did it.
Well, how do you feel, young man? I mean, you waited a long time. I know my interviews always carry on. I know I monopolized.
You need to interview him.
I monopolized Larry, but
No, I would take my mask off, but we're too close together right now. The struggle continues. This is wonderful. As Adina just said 5 minutes ago, there are times when we have to celebrate successes. There are times because we often experience failures or setbacks. So we need to celebrate this, but the struggle continues. It's not
Absolutely.
over by a long shot.
Absolutely.
Not by a long shot.
Absolutely.
A luta continua.
Continua.
All right. And what is your name, young man? Achilles, Akili?
A-K-I-L-I, yes.
Achilles what?
Buchanan.
Buchanan?
Buchanan.
All right. And good job with that Malcolm X Shabazz. That's nice.
Thank you.
All right.